Find your way here.
Find your way here.
Find your way here.
To a community of people guided by the wisdom of a goddess and the spirit of a warrior.
At UNC Greensboro,
we transform lives every day.
Every day. On campus, in our hometown, our home state,
and around the world.
Start with excellence.
Find your passion, your purpose, your inspiration here.
Through research and teaching, scholarship and service.
Competing for championships and seizing our moments.
We welcome every Spartan, just as they are, just as we are.
Just as I am.
I am.
I am.
We start with excellence.
And after graduation,
we excel, we achieve, we make an impact.
Find your wow, your breakthrough, your aha moment, your pride, your story here.
By being true to our core, we have earned the right to say,
we are the best at what we do.
We are.
We are.
We are UNC Greensboro.
A national leader in a thriving city.
Right here in the heart of North Carolina.
Find your way.
Find your way.
Find your way here.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are so happy that you are here to find out what your next steps are to being a Spartan here at UNC Greensboro. It is a pleasure to have you all here with us today. You will see down at the bottom of the screen, there is a number that you can text us. Please do send us your questions so that way we can answer them. We have got a panel full of people here who are happy and able to help us out. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my good friend and colleague, Tatiana McEnany, to start us off. Go ahead, Tatiana.
Good evening, everyone. We hope you all are staying healthy and safe during this time. I wanted to start by saying thank you so much for joining us. We know that there are a lot of other ways that you could be spending your time, but we do appreciate you choosing to spend it with us, and we are excited to tell you more about UNCG. My name is Tatiana McEnany, and I'm one of the assistant directors for undergraduate admissions here at UNCG, and I serve Alamance, Caswell, Chatham, Guilford, Randolph, and Rockingham counties. And I am lucky enough to be joined by some current UNCG students. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Sarah to introduce herself. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, everyone. My name is Sarah Perazi. I'm a junior communication studies major here at UNCG, and I'm from Waxhaw, North Carolina. Will?
Hi, everyone. My name is Will Burnett. I'm a junior here at UNCG, currently majoring in public health education with a concentration in community health. I'm also minoring in classical studies. Originally, I'm from Lexington, North Carolina. I'm going to pass it on over to Kayla.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kayla Piner. I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm a junior majoring in special and elementary education.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us. We're really excited to have you, and are excited to listen to your experiences that you all had as students. So if you all have any questions for them, make sure to go ahead and write them out in the chat, and we'll be able to answer them at the very end. So let's go ahead and talk about the next steps, right? So for our session today, we're going to be talking about the next steps that you can take after you've been admitted. But first of all, well, congratulations and welcome to the Spartan family. We know you're really excited to start this new chapter in your life. But first, we want to give you a little heads up that while you're not able to confirm your intent to enroll until February 1st, there are some items that you can still start up until then. So let's take a look at what those are. So financial aid. So there are 3 items that you can go ahead and complete to get a head start. So first of all, if you haven't completed the FAFSA form already, please do so by January 15th. January 15th is the priority deadline to fill out the FAFSA, and you can access the FAFSA form by going to fafsa.gov. If you haven't started the form, then you would click on Start Here, as you can see on the screen. And once you've completed the form, it will ask you to input a federal school code. Now, this code, each university does have for financial aid purposes, and UNCG's federal school code is 002976. So be sure to double check over all of your information, especially when you need to enter in your tax information. If you have any questions, you can always contact our financial aid office. Their phone number is 336-334-5702, or you can also send them an email at finalcredit aid@uncg.edu. So what's next? There is another process that you can start, and it is a Lloyd International Honors College application. Now, I do want to clarify that this is only for students who have been admitted to apply to the Honors College, and that is sent directly from the Honors College. So if you are a little bit unsure, if you've been invited to apply, you can also check your Spartan Link account. And the deadline to send in your Honors College application is also January 15th. So make sure you keep an eye on your Spartan Link account to see if you've been invited to apply. Now, another application that we have that you can start on, if you haven't done so already, is a residential college application. Now, a residential college is essentially a smaller college experience within a large university setting, and it's for first-year students, and it's a 2-year program. Now, students in the residential college take classes in their own residence halls that they live in, and those courses complete general ed requirements at a smaller traditional setting. And those courses are also capped at 25 students, which is pretty nice. In addition to those courses, they can also participate in community building activities, events, and programs. And in order to graduate from the residential college program, you will need to complete 2 core courses. But the great thing about it is they also fulfill general ed requirements. And you also need to complete a capstone course. So if you are interested in applying, there are 3 residential college programs on campus. We have the Ashby College, which is a focus on social justice and contemporary media literacies. We also have the Strong College, which is a focus on sustainability and research. And of course, there's the Grogan College with a focus on professionalism. So the application is on your Spartan Link account, and there is no major or GPA requirement to apply. So if you are interested, make sure you take a look at your Spartan Link account to be able to apply. So the next steps, February 1st through May 1st. So what will you be doing during that time? So this is the timeline that you can confirm your intent to enroll at UNCG. So what that means is that you can start on a few action checklist items. But first, you need to log onto your Spartan Link account and confirm your intent to enroll, of course. Once you log in, you will see a white exclamation point in a red box. And once you click on it, a drop-down box will appear that says, respond to the offer of admissions. And there you'll be able to confirm your intent to enroll to UNCG and say, yes, I am coming to UNCG. So what's next after that? Claiming your computer accounts. So once you've confirmed your intent to enroll, within 48 hours, you will receive an email with all the information, such as your Spartan ID, which you will definitely need in order to set up your student computing accounts, and which will be your Spartan email and your UNC Genie account. To claim your student accounts, you can go to its.uncg.edu, then click on New Student. Then under Computing Accounts, select Learn how to claim your student accounts. So follow these steps to claim your accounts. And please note that it will take around 4 hours for all of your accounts to be active. So once you finish that, give it some time. That way that can process and you'll be able to claim all of those accounts. All right, there is another process that you can start on, and it is the process of sending your immunization records. You can visit shs.uncg/immunizations and follow the 2-step instructions. But of course, if you have any questions, you can also contact our immunization department, and their phone number is 336-334-5340. So what happens after February 1st, right? So next, we're going to be talking about action items that you can complete starting February 15th. On February 15th, you'll be able to register for SOAR. Now, SOAR is our Spartan Orientation, Advising, and Registration. So you'll be able to register for mandatory event starting on February 15th. February 15th. So make sure you write that on your calendars. And you can sign up through your Spartan Link account. You can also apply for housing starting on February 15th. Up until May 31st. Now, although you have until May 31st to apply for housing, we always say the earlier the better to make sure you get a spot and make sure you get the housing option that you want to apply for. Now, to apply for housing, you can go to hrl.uncg.edu and then click apply. then follow the instructions from there. Now, you will apply via Artemis, which is the portal that our housing department uses. And of course, if you have any questions about housing applications, you can always contact our Housing Residence Life office, and their email is hrl@uncg.edu, or you can always give them a call at 336-334-5636. And so make sure you all write that on your calendars, February 15th. So now that we've gone over some of those steps, which was a lot of information, so if you have any information that you want us to repeat, please send us a text and we can definitely go over that information again. But please keep in mind, we will answer any questions that you do have very, very soon. But first, I wanted you all to hear from some of our current students and their experiences here at UNCG. Sarah, can you take it away?
Yeah, so I'm just going to tell you all a little bit about my experience, and then I'll let my two friends share about theirs. But I came to UNCG as an exploratory major, which means I was undecided in my major and I didn't know what I wanted to do. But as soon as I came into the school, faculty and staff helped me find what I wanted to major in, which became communication studies. It's really fun. But they helped me do that by getting to know me. They were really passionate about getting to know their students, and they got to know me. One of the resources I also utilized, because we have a bunch of great resources here, was the Career and Professional Development Center. They helped me out a lot to find the major that I wanted to major in. So that was really helpful. After I got like my major under my wing and I got to know some faculty and staff some more, they started pushing me towards opportunities in terms of leadership that we had here on campus. That ranged from on-campus jobs like being a tour guide on campus to doing Spartan orientation staff or SOS to being a peer academic leader. It ranged to a bunch of different things. They kept pushing me to go towards these different opportunities because they wanted me to grow as a student and grow in my major so that I'm prepared when I go out into the real world. Those are just like some of the things to show you that here at UNCG, faculty and staff, they really care about you. As soon as you walk into the door, they want to get to know you. They want to get to know everything about you so that they can push you in the right direction. That's what happened to me, and I'm ever so grateful for it because without them, I wouldn't have had all the leadership opportunities that I've had now and more that are coming my way. I think we're just like amazing in terms of faculty and staff support here. Professors want to get to know you through our office hours too. Professors have office hours every week, and that's where you can come and sit down and chat with them. I went to office hours my freshman year with one of my professors. Shout out to Will Dotson, amazing man. So yes, I went to office hours with him pretty often. He got to know me and he actually wrote some recommendation letters for me so I can go apply to these different jobs and opportunities. He also told me anytime that I need another letter of recommendation or anything like that, I can go to him and ask for that help. And yeah, those are just some of the great examples of how our faculty and staff can help you from the time you enter to, I guess, my junior year now and probably beyond. They're always here to help you out. I think Will has some experiences to share himself though.
Yeah, I sure do. I completely agree with everything Sarah was saying. I actually have Dotson as one of my teachers as well, and I'll briefly talk about that with my experience too. It's kind of cool that we both have that similar experience. But I'm going to kind of start off with like my beginning, like the journey I took to get to UNCG. Coming to UNCG was, a decision that you have to make, of course. And I came to this campus and I wanted to go to a campus where I felt like I could really belong. And I was looking at a bunch of schools and I came to UNCG numerous times. It's not too far from me. So I was like, well, I'm going to go see the campus. And I came the first time and it kind of pulled you in. It was always on my radar. First off, it had my major, which was a plus. I was kind of like Sarah. I didn't know where I wanted to go. I didn't come in undecided. I came in as a bio major, but kind of like Sarah, I went to the Career and Professional Development office just to work on my resume. And I kind of changed my major from there to public health. UNCG has so much to offer. And that's something that I noticed even before I arrived onto the campus. I had a teacher in high school that really influenced my decision into coming here. Fun fact, she actually works here now. So again, it just kept pulling me more and more in. So when I finally made that decision, I started to see all the wonderful things that I was hearing about from all the former alumni, from what I was seeing prior to coming to UNCG actually be true, which was really cool. Kind of like what Sarah was saying, the professors are great here. They provide you with a lot of wonderful opportunities, but UNCG itself just has so much going for it. Prior to coming to UNCG, I actually got to attend a lot of theater events. And when I came here, I knew I wanted to get involved and see all the other aspects of campus life that they had to offer. And kind of like what Tatiana was saying, you have a unique opportunity right in front of you with the residential colleges. I think the residential college has really changed my life here at UNCG. I am definitely an introvert. I was really worried about how I would get involved here on campus and transition from high school to college, but joining this residential college was a really unique experience that I got to be a part of, as Sarah is a part of as well. I am a graduate of Ashby Residential College, class of 2020, and in that I was presented with so many leadership opportunities. As Sarah was mentioning, you're presented with so many unique experiences. I've had so many unique classes too. A perk of being here at UNCG is you get a lot of those unique experiences. I had a zombie and film class. I had a cool music and film class that really was awesome and was like kind of eye-opening, in a class I never thought I would ever take, but I was offered here at UNCG. There's a lot of cool programming. I was able through the Ashby Residential College in order to get involved with RHA, which is the Residence Hall Association. So I was able to get involved and see the inner workings of campus life, which was just cool in and out of itself. Also, something that we do within my residential college, which is another perk that you can look into, is that, like Tatiana was mentioning, we have a lot of unique experiences that I'm really proud of and something that I continuously support. Even though I've graduated from the residential college, the community that UNCG itself inspired in me wanted me to continue sharing that. So I decided to stay as a UCM in the residential colleges. We put on a haunted house every year, and it's just so wonderful. And you see that throughout UNCG. There's so many different programs that Greek Life puts on, that other different clubs and organizations hold out throughout the year. One of my favorite things to do during the first week of when you arrive here at UNCG is something called Rock and Welcome Week. There's a lot of cool things you can do, and there's just always something to do. That's the key takeaway for me, and something that really kept me here at UNCG and kept me always engaged was there's something for everyone here. You're going to find something to do, whether it be a club or activity, going to Greensboro downtown, going to concerts and events at the Greensboro Coliseum, athletic events, or just being really engaged in your academics. Because as Sarah said, our professors here really do want us to succeed. So that's just a little bit about me, but I'm going to turn it over to Kayla. I think she has some stuff to share.
I do. Just to give you a little bit of background info about me, like I mentioned earlier, I'm from Raleigh, North Carolina, so it's only about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 10, depending how fast you drive, to get from Raleigh to Greensboro and vice versa. I'm also an only child and a first-generation college student, so I really wanted to make sure that I was staying as close to home as possible without literally being like 10 minutes away from my house. So Greensboro was definitely a pulling factor to me. Like I said, it's pretty close to home. It's a quick weekend trip home and back. But in high school, a lot of my teachers went to UNCG, and I kept hearing it pop up. I was like, what's with UNCG? I want to learn more about it. So I did my research. And UNCG has one of the best ed programs in the state. Like I mentioned, I am an ed major. We originally were founded as like a school of ed. So, you know, what a great way to connect with the roots of UNCG than be an ed major. But kind of like Sarah and Will, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I know I wanted to do education, but I didn't know which area I wanted to go into. I didn't know if I wanted to do special ed or elementary ed or anything of the sort. So I was applying to UNCG, and I saw they had a special ed and elementary ed program, literally program for people like me who don't want to choose. So that was kind of like my home run. That was like, this is where I need to be, because they literally were the only school that I applied to that had that specific major. But once I came to the campus and got settled in, just to reiterate what Will and Sarah said, there's so many different involvement opportunities. Like Sarah, I was a part of the Spartan orientation staff. I'm a Spartan guide now, and I get some professional development opportunities through my Chancellor Ambassador program. I'm always a person that likes to stay busy and get involved. I've always have since high school, and UNCG literally is the perfect place for people like me just to get involved in five different clubs and organizations. But that's all I have to say about it. So I'll give it back to Tatiana.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for sharing those experiences. And as you all can see, they each have had their own separate experiences. And even though some of them have overlap, like Sarah and Will's have, but it's really just UNCG is a great place. And I want you all listening to use them as a good resource right now. So it's a great opportunity to ask them questions because they are current students. They're involved in so many different clubs, activities on campus, and they're a college student right now. So let's go ahead and move on to some questions, and I'm gonna kick it over to Trey.
Yeah, we have got some questions here. Viewers are watching, and I am glad that y'all are out there watching us today. One of the first questions that we have is for Will, and Will, you did a really excellent job of explaining how the residential colleges work. Proud Ashby alumni myself, so woohoo there. But one of our viewers is asking, Will, do you recommend living in a residential college and having that smaller college experience?
I definitely do. And I completely understand being on the fence. You're making a lot of decisions and you're not sure if you want to join this community or if it's even right for you. But again, there's a lot of options for you to choose from. No matter what your major is, you really can fit in a residential college. So I recommend you check it out, because even if you don't like it, you can always drop out of it or switch residential colleges even. It's just a good starting point, I feel. And I really do think it's a good transition point from high school to college. Being in that smaller class setting really does help. You do have those smaller class sizes guaranteed. You also have classes within your residential hall. But overall, it's just a really great way to start building community. You're going to get to know people really fast. I know almost everyone in my dorm. I made that my mission to do that, and it's certainly manageable there. You're going to get to know a lot of people. So I would definitely recommend that. And if you're on the fence, just think, if you're really wanting to get involved like Kayla and Sarah were, it's a great way for you to do that as well, because you're going to have a lot of programs and events that are catered towards that initiative. So if you really like, let's say, Ashby social justice and contemporary media literacies as like something that you think you may be interested in, getting involved with a residential college could be a unique way of learning.
Definitely, for sure. And I can tell you that if I had not gone to Destination UNCG, and if I had not walked up to the Ashby booth, and if I had not talked to Dr. Chrissy Flood, and if I had not gone on a tour of Mary Faust Residence Hall, I would probably not be sitting in this chair today. So I absolutely highly recommend it. I know Will does. Sarah, I'm sure you would as well. And Sarah and Kayla, we've got a question for y'all. One of our viewers is asking, how do you go about finding a roommate? So let's start with Sarah, and then Kayla, I have a follow-up question for you. So Sarah, how do you find a roommate?
Yeah, so there are a couple of different ways that you can find a roommate. If you have like a friend that you want to be roommates with, you can definitely pull them in our housing portal. All you have to do is grab like their student ID and plug that in that way. But if you're like, let's go for it, let's have a random roommate, let's make a new friend, which is always a great option. I wish I had done that my freshman year, just had a random roommate. I had somebody that I known, and we kind of really just stuck to each other and didn't make new friends. So I really recommend this. But what you can do is you can take what we call our little eHarmony matching survey. And what you can do is fill out this survey to find somebody that's similar in interest with you. Like they'll ask you questions. Are you like an early riser, or do you stay up late? Like what TV shows you like? What do you like to do in your free time? They just try to match you up with somebody that has similar interests with you, so y'all will get along in your space together and become friends.
Fantastic. And Kayla, my follow-up question for you is, well, if you'd like to share your experience of how you found your roommate, and then did you take the little eHarmony quiz, or did you know somebody that you wanted to live with whenever you came here from Raleigh?
So I actually did both. So my freshman year, I did the random roommate assignment. And with that, my roommate, she was actually from Ethiopia. She was adopted, but she was from Ethiopia. She lived in Ethiopia for 17 years. So that was a really unique experience, being able to learn about her culture, where she came from, her background, about her family. And then my sophomore year, I actually just roomed with a friend that I made back in high school. So I kind of have both perspectives. Both were great. I got to learn a lot from both people. Yeah, so that's kind of my experience with living on campus. And it was definitely a different experience for me. Like I said, I'm an only child, so it was an adjustment to make, having to like share my living space. But like once you talk it out with your roommate, set the agreement that you want to have, it's a pretty simple way to live.
I do want to add also, Trey, that there are also some Facebook pages, group pages that you all can join. And typically it's the year that you graduate. So it would be, class of 2021. And, everyone who's coming to UNCG that are graduating 2021 will join the page and they'll say, hey, who's looking for a roommate? Or you can say, hey, I'm from, Rockingham High School, anyone else from Rockingham County? And, you can kind of find roommates that way. So that's a different way that students do tend to find roommates on our UNCG Facebook pages.
Definitely. Yeah. And thank you for mentioning that, Tatiana, because we do have a UNCG class of 2025 Facebook page that is available for you to join. So go check out the admissions page and we can point you to that there. And I just think that it is so incredible that living on campus and having even a random roommate or someone that allows you to experience all of the different cultures and all of the different people and experiences that are all over the world. Kayla's roommate was from Ethiopia. My roommate, my freshman, sophomore, and senior year, same person, was from Croatia. So you get to know all kinds of different people all over the planet. And Sarah, I just wanted to go back and ask you one more time, where exactly do you find the eHarmony survey or whenever you're applying for housing?
So if you go into your housing portal, Artemis, you can find the link there.
Definitely. And that's one of those things that you've got to wait until February 1st for, but that it was all online on Artemis. Thank you so much, everyone, for that. We're going to stick with housing for just a little bit because that is one of the important topics and one that we've got people asking questions about. And this one might require a little bit more of a grown-up answer, so Tatiana, I will give this one to you. Is housing guaranteed your freshman year?
So housing is not guaranteed. We have a lot of housing options. I would say there are housing options that are a little bit more expensive than some. The more traditional housing options tend to be the most wanted. So we always encourage students to apply early. Now, we typically do have enough housing for everyone who applies for housing, but sometimes it's not their first choice or their second choice. So we always tell students to give us their first, second, and third choice. That's why we always encourage students to apply as early as possible to be able to get your first choice, just because there are popular housing options. Trey, can you elaborate more on that?
Yeah, a little bit. So I think you definitely said it right, to apply early, because that's the most important thing. That is pretty much how you are guaranteed to get your first choice. And I don't think we've ever run into a situation, at least not in my time at UNCG, where we've had more applicants than we've had people or bed space to put people in. So we definitely always have the space for people. It's just maybe not your first choice, but apply early. So that is definitely the best piece of advice that we can give you. And let me see. I think we had another question. Oh, well, just a little bit of elaboration. About 80% of our first year students choose to live on campus. And the remaining 20%, that's probably folks who live locally anyway, so they wouldn't need to live on campus, but we definitely have space for you. Let me see. When is the last day to apply for housing? I think we had to look this one up because I did not remember it either, but the people behind the screen have found the answer, and that answer is June 30th. So if you want to live on campus, apply early, but apply before June 30th. Now, this one's going to be kind of a fun question from one of our viewers. Are first-year students allowed to bring their cars on campus? Lots of head nodding. Yes, definitely. Who was the friend who had a car? That was definitely me. I was always the one that went to Walmart for people. Kayla, yeah, you got it. So I was the one that went to Walmart and Target and occasionally PetSmart for fish food. So yeah, if you are the friend with the car on campus, then you will make friends very easily. Let's see, Tatiana.
Right.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to elaborate that. Should we talk a little bit about, maybe Sarah or Will can kind of talk about the transportation options that they utilized since they didn't have a car on campus, maybe one or two of their years that they were here?
Yeah, definitely. Anyone who wants it, go for it.
I mean, I can start off. I did not bring my car my first year, and UNCG has a lot of transportation options. We have something called the Chariot bus that takes you around campus. It's a 15-minute time loop, so every 15 minutes you can expect another bus to come out, and they have some that are just like specialized for certain areas. You don't have to wait so long, and it's really not that long of a wait. You can walk anywhere on campus in about 15 minutes, which is nice about UNCG. But if you did want to take a bus, especially if it's raining, you could take the Chariot bus. You can actually track that through the UNCG mobile app, which is nice. And then another bus that I particularly have used is the Greensboro Transit Authority bus or the Greensboro City bus. This will take you pretty much anywhere in Greensboro. You just have to follow that schedule on their website. It will take you to the mall, Walmart, Target, Cookout, a bunch of different restaurants. So you'll definitely be able to get around. And I think we also have something called, no, I know we do. We have something called the Higher Education Area Transit Bus. And this bus basically takes you to other colleges around UNCG, as well as college hotspots. So like the Friendly Center, which is like a little local retail area. So it's an outlet mall-like style place you can go shop around, and then just other college hotspots.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, Tatiana, we've got a couple of viewers asking a few clarifying questions, just that way we can get the right idea. Do we set up our UNC Genie accounts first or after I confirm my intent to enroll? So it might be a good time to talk about the difference between being admitted and being enrolled.
Yeah, so once you are admitted, you have to wait till February 1st to confirm your intent to enroll. So basically what that means is after February 1st, you can say, yes, I do want to come to UNCG. So once you are admitted, you're admitted first, and then February 1st hits, you can say, yes, I'm coming. And then after that, you can set up your computer accounts. So you have to wait about, I think, a couple hours, but you'll get your UNCG ID, student ID, and then you'll be able to set up your UNC Genie account and also your UNCG email. Now, your UNC Genie account, that's where you can view your financial aid. You can register for classes that way. You can see your degree works and degree evaluation. You can see who your advisor is. It comes in handy big time. You can search for classes that way. So you will, I'll go through it one more time. Once you're admitted, right, you'll be admitted, and then February 1st hits, you can say, yes, confirm your intent to enroll. Yes, I'm coming to UNCG. Then you'll get your student ID, and then you'll be able to activate that UNC Genie account and then your UNCG email.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. UNC Genie is super important. That's where you see your financial aid. And I know a lot of people are waiting to see how much your financial aid package is before you click, yes, I want to come to UNCG. So as soon as you're admitted, you can actually log into UNC Genie. That's where you will log in with your student ID number, which is a 9-digit number that begins with an 8, and also your PIN. So you can set that up as soon as you're admitted. But again, you cannot confirm your intent to enroll until February 1st, and that's when you can set up all the other accounts. But Genie is super duper important. Alrighty, and now what sorts of opportunities, this is for our students, what sorts of opportunities are there on campus for people who are members of the LGBT plus community? Are there any offices or other resources available? Anyone want to take it?
Yeah, so I will take it. And I think Sarah, you might, I think you might have been kind of saying something. Yeah. So we have our campus activities program center that has we have over 350 different clubs, activities on campus. We, participate in LGBTQ Awareness Week. There's lots of different clubs and organizations for our students. We are a very diverse institution, which also means we're very inclusive. And Sarah, I don't know if you wanted to touch base a little bit more on that.
The Office of Intercultural Engagement does some things with the LGBT plus community too. They advocate and allow people to learn more. We also have a whole room located near that office for LGBTQ plus and allies to come and meet and to chat together in a safe space.
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, I was definitely going to make sure that we pointed out for all of our viewers the Office of Intercultural Engagement, because culture is more than just nationality. It is who you are. So that is important. Yeah, go ahead, Tatiana.
Yeah, I do want to point out we do have 3 LGBTQ plus student groups here on campus. So there are different student groups that students can join.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to our next question. When is it that you are assigned an academic advisor? And then there's a follow-up after that, but we'll stick with the first question now. So when are you assigned an academic advisor? Anybody know? Crickets. So I think I know the answer. It's whenever you confirm your intent to enroll and whenever you register for SOAR. So Kayla and Sarah, and I don't know about Will, maybe. Y'all were all SOS people, right? So anyone, let's go with Kayla. Kayla, tell me what an SOS is, tell me what SOAR is, and then tell me how advising at SOAR works, because that all is one big package.
Yeah. So SOS stands for Spartan Orientation Staff, and we're basically a group of student leaders. There's 30 of us who help you transition from either high school to UNCG or from a different college to UNCG. We're basically that first touching point for when you come to university. Like Tatiana went over, you will go through your orientation, and through orientation, that's where you will meet your advisor and register for classes. SOAR is typically in person, but it was kind of held in a virtual/hybrid format this past summer. But typically during that time, you'll go on like a brief campus tour, you'll look around. Of course, you're going to learn about all the different engagement and involvement opportunities that we have here for our students. And like I mentioned before, that's where you're going to register for your classes and meet your advisor. And I'm not sure if Sarah, if you want to add any more to that.
Yeah, like Kayla was saying, SOAR is just like a big experience where you get to come and learn about the university. That is also where you register for classes. Some of y'all that do register for SOAR may get pre-registered for classes based off of your major that you've decided to pursue. Don't worry though, like if you choose a major and you don't want to major in that anymore, by the time SOAR comes, you can definitely change that. You can set up an appointment with an advisor and you can change that. But you will get pre-registered into some courses based off of your major and what you've taken in high school. If you've taken like AP courses, IB courses, all that fun stuff.
Fantastic. Definitely. Thanks for that information. And that SOAR in that regard, as y'all explained it, is definitely for first year students. We do have a different version of SOAR for our transfer students and for our second degree students and online students and fill in the blank students. But SOAR is definitely a really, really important experience that all of our first year students go through. So it is very, very exciting. So you will find out who your academic advisor is at SOAR. And then the follow-up question to that is, if you know what your major is coming into UNCG, are you assigned an academic advisor in your area of study? That is absolutely yes. And you will also choose your SOAR session based on that academic area of study. So whenever you go onto your Spartan Link account on February 1st, there's that date again, and you sign up for your SOAR registration, that is when you will indicate what area of study you want to go about, and then you will sign up for that SOAR session. So that is how that works. Let me see. A student is wondering when the last day is that you can submit your FAFSA. So there's a couple different deadlines that we're working with here, and I'll explain them a little bit as much as I can, and then Tatiana, if I miss anything, please help me out. So the priority deadline for filing your FAFSA is January 15th. What does priority mean? Priority means that if you file your FAFSA by January 15th, that is your best chance at receiving aid. So even if you submit your FAFSA after January 15th, you can still receive aid. Do not worry, you're not going to be left out. But if you at least submit by January 15th, that is your best opportunity for receiving financial aid. So that includes things like scholarships. We've got a bunch of different scholarships. We in the admissions office administer what are called the merit-based scholarships. So those are based or awarded solely on academic ability or achievement. Then we've also got other scholarships that are handled through the departments, and we also have grants and loans. Loans you have to pay back, grants you do not, scholarships you do not. And that is the different types of aid. The final deadline for you to submit your FAFSA is March the 1st. So make sure that you do your FAFSA as soon as you can, and you can go ahead and submit your FAFSA now. It is open and available if you are coming in for the 2021-2022 school year. So go ahead and submit your FAFSA. January 15th is the first deadline, and then the final deadline is March 1st. Todd, did I miss anything?
Nope, that you nailed it. Now, I don't know, did you mention the final deadline for FAFSA?
I think it's March 1st, is it not?
So it's actually, I don't want to say it because I don't want anyone waiting this long, but it's June 30th.
Oh, okay. There you go.
However, Trey did really nail it. The sooner that you apply, the best your financial aid package can be. So I encourage you all to apply before January 15th. Like that way you can get the best financial aid package.
Gotcha. And Tatiana, if you remember, do you know when financial aid packages come out? I want to say it's kind of later in the spring semester, March, April time.
Yep, it typically, I believe it's around decision day. I think it's around spring, probably late March. But that would be a financial aid question. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah. So unlike admissions, where at this point we do rolling releases of admission decisions, financial aid gives everybody out all at once. So if I remember right, I want to say it was like mid-April last year. It could have been late March. Call financial aid because they would be able to give you the right answer. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but definitely get in touch with financial aid. But you can expect it sometime around March, April, May time. Alrighty, so our next question is, could some of our students share what school spirit looks like at UNCG? A couple future Spartans are a little concerned that our school is a little bit lacking just because we don't have a football team. Well, I say that we are undefeated since 1891 because we don't have a football team. But any of our students, give me an idea, or give our future Spartans an idea of what school spirit looks like here.
I can go ahead and touch on that because I guess my whole job revolves around school spirit. So school spirit looks different for everyone. The university themselves, more specifically your first year office, they're going to host a lot of different school spirit events. Typically, for our first home basketball game, because we're pretty well known for our basketball team, we have a pretty good one, not going to lie. We'll have something called Storm the Streets, where basically all the students will walk to the Greensboro Coliseum. We're chanting cheers, we're rocking our blue and gold. That's one of our bigger events that we have when it comes to school spirit. But of course, at games and stuff, we'll have our school spirit there. They'll give out different prizes and awards and things like that. Sarah, do you want to add more to what school spirit looks like? That was kind of like our big ones that we have here on campus.
Yeah, like Kayla was mentioning, basketball games are like our biggest showcase of school spirit. We all go there together. Everybody's repping their blue and gold, and it gets crazy. They're so much fun. You can feel the energy, and it feels great. Another way we show our school spirit is every Friday. It's Blue and Gold Friday, so you rep your UNCG by wearing blue and gold. The office that Kayla was talking about, your first year, they put on a bunch of different events that showcase our school spirit. One of those is like First Finals Fest, or just Finals Fest in general, where everybody goes and like gets ready for finals. We show our spirit together. Another event is Homecoming. Homecoming is so much fun. We actually have a homecoming soccer game that everybody goes to go watch our team take on whoever they're taking on that week. I just want to say we usually win because we're pretty good at soccer. That's just my, great opinion because we're really good at sports here. But we have a homecoming soccer game where they announce our two royalties for homecoming, and then we have a giant bonfire. Everybody comes out. The chancellor's there. He lights the bonfire. We have s'mores and everything. It's a great time. So those are just a few of the events where we show our school spirit, but there's always an event on campus where like a bunch of students will come repping their blue and gold, chanting. We have all those kind of fun events here.
Fantastic. Will, do you have anything that you'd like to add?
They pretty much covered everything I would say too. It's really the athletic events. Homecoming, something that residential halls all do so everyone can participate in it, is that they actually make banners to showcase Spartan Pride every year. It's something I look forward to doing every year. They still did it this year, of course, virtually, and it's something that we really go all out on, showing our Spartan Pride with our residential halls. And you'll see students just wearing UNCG merch all the time. I'm actually wearing double UNCG merch. I have my Spartan Guide shirt on, and then underneath I have my UNCG sweater on. So you'll see them wearing it all over the place. I got complimented all the time when I was out the outlet mall just a couple days ago, just because of everyone noticing all of my UNCG merchandise, and I was connecting with a bunch of people that way. So the Spartan pride is real, and it extends even past campus.
Definitely, for sure. And Tatiana, you were a student athlete yourself, so that is definitely important for you, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I was a student athlete here, graduated in 2015. I played softball. So we definitely saw a lot of fans out in our stadium. And the cool thing is they do a lot of free giveaways. Sometimes they bring like catering, and the first 50 to 100 students get, free food. So it's always nice to see, my fellow student classmates and out in the stands and, dressed in their UNCG and their, face painted and all that. So it definitely a lot of school spirit here at UNCG.
For sure, yep. It's definitely not an incomplete experience. We show it in a little bit of a different way, but it is still definitely a very spirited school. This question is actually from a viewer who has a question for both Tatiana and myself. I will let you go first. As alumni of the university, can we share how UNCG has prepared us for our future? So Tatiana, give it to us.
Yeah, so I was actually an out-of-state student. I came from California, so I'd never heard of UNCG, let alone Greensboro. So it was really important for me to have the necessary resources for me to be successful, not only through my 4 years in college, but afterwards as well. So I know Sarah and Will mentioned before, the Career and Professional Development Office is literally amazing. I changed my major 2 times, and and I didn't declare a major to the end of my sophomore year of college, which is really the last semester you can kind of claim your major. And once I decided on my major, I was like, well, what am I going to do? I don't know what I want to do. I'm not really quite sure. So I went to the Career and Professional Development Office. They sat me down, they worked with me. They told me of all the different career opportunities that I was able to have. They asked me first, what are your interests? What do you like to do? And as some of you may have guessed, I love to present. I love to talk to people. I am an extrovert. So I knew I wanted to work with people. I just didn't know how, in what capacity. So the Career and Professional Development Office definitely prepared me. They helped me with my resume. They helped me with mock interviews. They put me in front of different employers that I was interested in. And also what I love about the Career and Professional Development Office is it's also, I can still go back there. So it's available to alumni. So I'm able to, let's say I wanted to update my resume. From what I have done, I am able to go back to the Career Professional Development Office and still sit back down with them, and they can still help me, put all that stuff together. And also UNCG for me is really, it's a community. I still talk to a lot of the coaches that, over in athletics. I still talk to the director of athletics, and, she gave me her phone number and we text, and she's, one of my mentors. I was able to get a recommendation letter from one of my professors that I took one class my sophomore year. I took with him, and he was able to get me a recommendation letter. So these are the types of connections that you build at UNCG. And like I said, it's not only through your 4 years, it's really after you graduate. And Trey, that's what I got for you. I'll kick it back to you.
Cool. Thank you. It's definitely always nice hearing the out-of-state perspective because, like you said, not many people know about UNCG, not many people know about Greensboro, and I would hope that people at least know about North Carolina. But our little school, and I say it's little, it's really not, it's 20,000 students, was a big difference for me from my hometown because my hometown is very, very tiny on the coast of North Carolina. We have one stoplight and everyone goes to bed at 8 p.m. You think I'm joking? Go drive through Newport, North Carolina. You'll see. But the difference between home and UNCG was definitely welcome for me, and I still go home as often as I can because I absolutely love it. But I really do love Greensboro. And as I said earlier, if I had not gone to Destination UNCG, if I hadn't talked to a couple different advisors and a couple different current students who were in the residential colleges and in the media studies department, which is what I got my degree in, I would not be sitting in this chair today, and I definitely would be a very, very different person. I probably would have gone to some other school and not really known where I fit in. Well, as soon as I got here, I knew that I fit in, and I'm definitely very, very appreciative for my time here as a student and also as a staff person. So I'm super duper happy. Let us see. Alrighty, we've got a viewer who is asking a question about majors and advising. Can I change my major after I've been accepted? Tatiana, what do you know about this?
Yes, you definitely can. You can honestly change your major as many times as you feel like you need to, up until you don't have to declare your major to the end of your sophomore year here at UNCG. So, and the only reason we say is because we want to make sure that you are still able to graduate on time. So I went from a nursing major to elementary education major to a finally human development and family studies major. I still graduated in 4 years, so it didn't take me any extra time. So yes, you can change your major. And if you declare a certain major, that's okay. You can still change your major and you will still have time. But you also want to work closely with your academic advisor, because there are a couple majors that do take the full, 4 years. And it's, for example, consumer repair and retail studies. That is a very, there's a lot of prerequisites. So what I mean by that is you really have to complete 101 before you move to 102, before you move to 103, so there are a lot of consecutive courses that you have to take. And you can't kind of skip over some of those, whereas other ones you can take a 300 level class, and then you can also go back to the 100 level class. So there are majors that you aren't able to do that, but you'll definitely want to speak with your academic advisor before making any of these changes, because they're going to be the best resource in regards to, classes, graduation date and time frame, and they're going to be the ones that'll be able to help you out with that.
Definitely. And Sarah, I know at the beginning you said that you came into UNCG as an exploratory studies student. Tell us what being exploratory means and how you kind of found your way to your major.
Yeah, so an exploratory student is a student who's undecided on their major, or in my case, I kind of had an idea, but I didn't know which way I wanted to go. But since I was an exploratory major, I took a course called FYE 101, which is first year experience. And within that course, I learned about myself and I learned about different majors that UNCG had. And through that course, that helped me push me towards the major of communication studies. I did spend a lot of time in career and professional development, a lot of time trying to go over what I could do with a communication studies degree. Maybe that's not the degree for me. Maybe I look at this degree, that degree. And it ultimately led me to communication studies, because what they did in career and professional development was have me take a bunch of tests to learn about myself, to learn about my skills, my likes, my dislikes, and how it fit into a major for me. And ultimately, everything that I possibly wanted to do as like a career or my personality fit into a communication studies degree. So when you start and you don't have a major, faculty and staff will help you. They'll get to know you and they'll take your skills, your likes, your dislikes, and they'll try to put them into a major that they think that you would really enjoy. And that's what happened to me. I love my major. It's a lot of fun. We get to talk a lot. I like to talk. So ultimately, it was the right major for me. And I know a lot of other people who were exploratory majors that went to career and professional development, talked to faculty and staff, and it helped them find exactly what they wanted to do as well.
Fantastic. Do you think it's a better idea to come in as exploratory or with a particular plan of how you want to go throughout your college experience?
My personal opinion is if you come in with as an exploratory major, I think it's great because you're going to find exactly what you want to do and you're not going to be back and forth between majors. That's my experience. That's my experience with a lot of my friends that have been exploratory. They came in as an exploratory major and they found what they wanted to do pretty soon after. Unlike my friends who had one major and then they changed it and then they changed it again, exploratory really gives you the time, if you're really unsure about what you want to do, to find out what you want to do and who you are so you can make that right decision. Also, coming in as an exploratory major does not extend your time here. You're on the same track as everybody else, and you're going to graduate on the time frame that you want to graduate on.
Fantastic. Good to know. It was probably a better idea if I was an exploratory studies student. I changed my major 5 times, but I'm here now and I got my piece of paper, so that's all that matters. All right, Will, tell me honest. How is the food here at UNCG?
It's great. We have a lot of options to choose from, which makes it really nice. You got the cafeteria, which is buffet style. They have like 15 different cooking stations up there that they change up from time to time. So you got like Southern cooking, Fried Chicken Wednesday is a really popular day. They got desserts up there, which is where I usually go because I like desserts. But as you get more flex, which is money that's loaded into your student account, part of your meal plan, um, you have different options around campus where you can go eat as well, such as Chick-fil-A. We have a full service Chick-fil-A. We have an EEC food court, which has like salsaritas, a Bojangles Express. We actually have one of the only full service Bojangles here on campus. So we're really proud of that. I know I am because I go there a lot, probably more than I should, but I love it. So we have a lot of options to choose from. We even have some across Westgate City Boulevard in Spartan Village, like a Pita Delight, a pizza shop. We even have a full service grocery store. So if you don't want to eat out, you can get some groceries and cook if you don't have a car and you don't want to travel off campus. So there's a lot of options for you to choose from to eat at.
Definitely. Anybody else want to give their opinion on the food?
As an addition, I live over like in Spartan Village, which is where Will was just talking about. And when I say the best way grocery store has come in clutch so many times, because I'm a college student, so I have that much money in my bank account, but I have flex. So just being able to like literally walk down, so I live right across from it, walk down the stairs, go to Best Way, get my groceries for the week, and then go back into my apartment. It's literally a beautiful thing. I really encourage, if you're ever on campus, stop by there and get some nice groceries.
Absolutely, for sure. I will tell you, I will still go back over to the dining hall and get one of those salads and maybe get some pasta and maybe get a cookie or two because they're really good. Let's see, we've got just a couple of minutes left. Were any of our panelists involved with Greek life? No. Okay, well then we might not answer that question. We had a question about sororities on campus. We have them. I don't know anything about them, but if you go onto our campus activities and programs website, cap.uncg.edu, that is how you can get to the information about sororities and fraternities. Let's see. How does UNCG manage and arrange housing for our transgender students? We absolutely do have housing available for our transgender students, and we are able to work with you on a case-by-case basis, just depending on what your needs are and what your identity is. That is something that we want you to reach out to us and reach out to the housing office. That way we can work with you to get the housing situation worked out best in your own unique situation. I don't want to say anything incorrect because I know that housing works with each student individually, so there's no broad blanket statement that I can give you there, but we are absolutely able to give you housing on campus. We've got one viewer who is just a little nervous for college level academics. So let's start with Kayla and say, just because you are an education major, even though not really college, but it's okay. Kayla, can you share with us what resources you have used to succeed academically?
Yeah, so the greatest resource that I have used is our professors. Like Sarah touched on before, our professors are masters in the material. I go to their office hours a lot, sometimes maybe a little bit too much. I feel like I bug them, but they really do appreciate when you go in and ask them questions. So I definitely recommend, no matter if you're taking an entry-level course with 100+ students or you're in a smaller class, really get to know your professors and really talk with them. Especially this year, they've been super understanding. They literally just ask if you need anything, just email them. So that's my thing that I've been using a lot. I've also utilized our speaking and writing center. As a college student, it's guaranteed you're going to have at least one speech and one paper to write. So being able to utilize that resource and make sure that the work that I'm turning in, especially when it comes to papers, is of my best quality and of my best work. I use that a lot. And then also I've used the Math Help Center. Even though I'm an ed major, I'm not that great at math. So that Math Help Center was a really, really great resource for me. And then just going back, my professors 100% have been like my biggest support and my biggest help on campus.
Fantastic. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Kayla. You know, your professors are absolutely always there to help you out, and they, as much as you do, they want you to succeed. So it is always super important to go talk to your professors, go talk to your advisors. Any of our other students want to give any of their recommendations on how to succeed academically?
Stay on top of it. That's all I can say. If you can do it in high school, you can do it here. The transition, I think, is like Kayla said, you're given all the resources to do that. So take advantage of that. And even if you don't use them, you can still keep your similar schedule. Just stay on top of the ball. It may take some time to get adjusted, some adjustments. I really value time management, so I like to make a schedule out at the beginning of the week. It's a process. Everyone will figure their own way of how they're going to do it, but just stay on top of the ball.
Definitely. As I would say a professional person now, I can say that it took me a while to figure out how to condense my 3 calendars into 1 calendar plus a Trello board. So use Trello if you have access to that, or just get a good calendar, get a good planner. All right, we've got about 2 minutes before we have to wrap things up. So I want to end with one very important question, and I'm going to give this one over to Tatiana. We've got one question from a viewer about COVID-19 and how UNCG has responded to the pandemic to keep everybody safe. So Tatiana, what can you tell us about how we have stayed safe during this time?
Yeah, so well, first I do want to highlight, I think it's really important to say that we're able to stay on campus. So we are not shut down. We do have classes that are in, it's a hybrid model. So there are some online courses, but we are still on campus. And that's just a huge shout out to all of our students. If you drive through our campus, you see all of our students walking outside on campus with their face masks. So just because they're outside, they are still wearing their face masks. And that just speaks to, I guess, how awesome our students are here at UNCG. And we've had less than 350 cases here on campus since July 1st. So in a little over 5 months with 20,000 students here, we've had less than 350 cases. So that kind of just says a lot. We also have an online resource that you can go to. We have a COVID-19 page where you can see all the positive cases that we've had since July 1st, and it shows the students, staff, faculty, contractors. So we are very transparent, of course, in all of this. And we also hold voluntarily COVID testing tests available. So if you want to go ahead and get tested and kind of do your part, you can go ahead and get tested for free. And we have that on campus. We have done it several times throughout the months that it started. So we are, I would say, pretty mature, and our students want to be on campus, so they are being safe. So that is the last question, but thank you guys all. I wanted to say thank you again so much for joining us. And of course, congratulations. Thank you to our students that joined us today. And if you have any additional questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Our email is admissions@uncg.edu. You can call us at 336-334-5243, or you can text us at 336-770-2431. But that is all for tonight. Thank you all.
Thanks. We'll see y'all later.